Welcome to Melbourne and the inaugural event of the F1 2019 Championship season. The session is starting shortly and there's a real sense of anticipation in the air. A feeling that anything can happen this year, and if it does, well, this weekend could be the opening chapter to one of the most exciting F1 seasons ever. We open up today's free practice with none other than Anthony Davidson. And we're bound to have viewers out there new to Formula One that have no idea what goes on during a session like this. So could you explain why it's such an integral part of the weekend's efforts?
Absolutely, Crofty. Behind every Formula One car is a team of top-tier engineers there to make sure everything is performing as expected. Practice sessions serve as an opportunity for the boffins behind the scenes to gather data from the track testing to help them check for any potential faults and, if required, make minor tweaks to the car's setup, ensuring they're prepared for the big race. From the driver's perspective, practice is often less focused on trying to push for those fast lap times, but instead making sure that the car feels right to drive. And if not, raising that within the team so that any issues can be ironed out as quickly as possible. For me, it's this constant evolution of the cars that makes Formula One one of the most engaging sports in the world.
This first race of the season is always quite difficult for us trackside, and for those back at the factory as well, as it's the first time the car has run since winter testing. The more consistent mileage you can get in these sessions, the happier we'll be. I know it's tempting to focus entirely on the race, but we should put a bit of time aside to run the qualifying sim program. Try to run it before the end of FP3 if you can. Don't push the car just yet. Track is still green. Try and take it easy for the first couple of laps. Try to nail as many corner gates as you can. The faster you get through each corner, the higher the score. You'll need to deploy your DRS in the DRS zone as well. DRS zone is coming up. Get ready to open it. Distance is on your MFD. excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can talk you through the numbers. That looked bad. Are you alright? Let me know you're alright.
It's time to remind ourselves of our top three, who are Leclerc, Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel. And that's it, practice is officially over. Until next time, goodbye.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. What caused that issue in practice? A new component? It's been a lot of hard work, but here you are making your debut in Formula One. You must be thrilled. So how are you finding things at the team? Are you settling in? What are you expecting out of this season? Are you just aiming to find your feet in Formula One, or do you see something more? Appreciate your time.
We're just about ready to kick off today's qualifying here in Melbourne. It's the Australian Grand Prix. It always looked like the kind of track that asks an awful lot of the rear tyres, such as the frequency of low-speed exits.
Lots of low-speed exits means the rears are in for a lot of punishment. It's all too easy to spin them up coming out of a corner too aggressively. It might look great for us as spectators, as we love to see a car driven beyond its limits, but it's not going to result in a great long-run pace.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top three: Hamilton, Vettel and Valtteri Bottas. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Well done. That was a good qualifying performance.
New drivers, new cars, it's a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that plays host to round 1 of a 21-race championship that takes us from here in Australia across the globe and the eventual season finale at the Yas Island circuit in Abu Dhabi. Just south of Melbourne's downtown business centre is the one and only Albert Park circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy circuit with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake and a couple of good passing opportunities here as well, thanks in part to the DRS zones into turns 1, 3 and 13. We have plenty of changes to the sport this year with tweaks to the regulations, a fresh-looking spread of tyre compounds and, of course, some changes to the roster of car manufacturers. It's goodbye to Sauber and hello once again to the classic name of Alfa Romeo in Formula One. It's also goodbye to Force India. They've been rebranded as Racing Point. Joining me to take you through all the action of the 2019 Formula One season is Anthony Davidson. And it's great to have you with us.
Thanks, Crofty. Always happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to getting underway. Last year was Mercedes' 5th Constructors' title in a row, although for the first half of the season it was absolutely neck and neck with the Ferraris. Hopefully this year we can see the chasing pack take that final step, as I'd love to see a championship contest all the way up to the final race in Abu Dhabi. Another story to keep an eye on is the performance of Red Bull, who have switched to the Honda Power Unit this year. What that will mean for both their performance and reliability remains to be seen.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Norris, Sainz, Magnussen, Albon and Daniel Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Kvyat, Wright and Stroll, Perez, Raikkonen, George Russell and Pierre Gasly. Giovinazzi and Romain Grosjean sits at the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
You qualified higher than we were expecting, so see if you can keep this position in the race. You've been awarded a time penalty for that last incident. Not a great start. Let's get back on track. Take it easy on the car. We can't sustain this level of damage.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed package on the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. So, let's review the drivers' standings. After an incredible performance, Lewis Hamilton secures the...
Well, things didn't really go your way today. Let's have your take. It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it? That crash looked pretty serious. Can you walk me through what happened? You had a bit of contact today. Who was at fault there? Great. Well, that's everything.
That's very disappointing. I know you can do better than that. Take stock of what went wrong so you can get a better result next time.
Looks like one of your rivals has also been invited to a historical event. This could be a good opportunity to play up your rivalry for the press and expand your reputation.
Practice sessions are vital for the continuing development of the car, but if you need to, you can choose to simulate the session instead. It won't be as effective as having you behind the wheel directly, but it's better than missing the session entirely.
Bahrain qualifying is nearly upon us and the drivers look as if they're all geared up to go. I expect we'll be getting underway very shortly. I want to talk briefly about the strategy in these qualifying sessions. Anthony Davidson, how can a driver adjust their approach to gain those critical extra tenths of a second?
Well, qualifying isn't about adjusting your approach necessarily, it's more about trying to repeat a low fuel run that you've practiced prior to this session. You're looking for perfection on the lap, and that's hard to achieve if you're trying something new. There are some variables that can stand in your way, however. Track position or unexpected yellow flags, for example. Coupled with ever-changing track conditions, it's important to be out there at the right moment. But as a driver, you have to try and ignore these distractions and just keep your mind focused on that one perfect lap.
Nice job.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top three today. Bottas, Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
All right, I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
The curtain rises once more then on the desert stage of Sakhir as the players take their places for the opening act. Will they enthrall us like they did in 2014 with that titanic battle between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton? Well, we'll find out shortly as we get underway here in Bahrain. There's no shortage of passing opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the Bahrain International Circuit, with the best at turn 1 of course, and then another soon into turn 4. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, and we could see 1 or 2 flat spots into the tight left-hander of turn 10. Anthony Davidson, thanks for joining me once again for the Grand Prix. Now I want to ask you about Lewis Hamilton. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The fence starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Wright, Norris, Albon, Magnussen, and Carlos Sainz. Raikkonen, Grosjean, Sergio Perez, and Gasly, Ricciardo, Kvyat, Nico Hülkenberg, and Lance Stroll. Russell and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, the run into turn 1 isn't too... Taken some minor damage. Okay, box, box, box. We're adjusting the strategy. Come in this lap. Go. You'll be racing on the exit. Complete. Go now. that front wing. It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage. Take it easy on the car. We can't sustain this level of damage. Will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Front is 6.0 seconds. This is your final lap of the race. can't say that I'm happy with how today went, but I'm sure you gave it your best. Better luck next time.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. So let's review the updated driver standings. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Well, you can't fault anything that Sergio Perez did out on the track today. He drove flawlessly, making him an easy pick.
It's time to see how